Well, welcome back to Mayo Lake Minerals channel with gold-focused projects in the heart of the Yukon and Alaska. Joining us to give us a high-level overview of the investor deck, we have Vern, the CEO, joining. But first and foremost, welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to get you back on. So I want to dive into this with first and foremost. Mayo is kind of working on a merger with West Mountain Gold. Do you want to give us kind of the high-level overview to take us through the deck?
Okay, here we go. I got her up here. Okay. Yeah, well, I just want to put everybody into the total picture here. All our properties, both West Mountains and our own, are up in the Yukon and Alaska, and they're in a gold province, Tatina Gold Province, that's having a lot of action on these days. We've got a whole bunch of companies with large resources, some of them mining and some of them developing mines. We got Snowline, which is over near our Mayo Lake properties here in a special zone called the Tombstone Gold Belt, and it's got 7 million resources that is just defined. And then, of course, we got Fort Knox, produced over 8 million ounces. We got a couple of neighbors here, U.S. Gold and Nova Minerals. That's in Australia. Nova Minerals. They both got 9 million ounces plus. And if you look around, you can see lots of others. There's Nova Gold, which is got what's it got here? 39 million ounces. So this is a highly endowed gold province. There's documented over 220 million ounces that have either been mined or are in the process of developing mines. Well, West Mineral is that's the company that West Mountain Gold. That's the company that we're merging with, and it has a large endowment. These are in a way dated because they were put together sometime in the past. I'll explain that later. That's part of the highlights of what we found out in most recent. But even back then, they had 700,000 ounces plus of high grade narrow vein stuff that could have been mined with an average of 11.4 grams gold per ton. But more recently, they found out that if they took to bulk mining, it'd be about 2.5 million ounces. And we will have further comments on these as we move along.
Now, I understand that West Mountain Terra project will be your flagship property. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, the Terra project, there's two zones. They're on this slide. You can see exactly where they are on the mountainside here. And this is not necessarily a disadvantage at all, as they're accessible by adits at different levels. So you might get away from some expensive mine structure and things like that. And the biggest deposit is a part of the deposit is just in the band vein. So I think we'll just keep moving along here. Okay, as I was saying, it's about I think 1,000 meters, slightly under 1,000 meters in length, and it's been drilled out to 250, about 250 meters. And the interesting thing about this is, which allows us to do bulk mining. In the case of the band vein, it has to be underground because of if we went back, you can see the slopes are very steep here, and there's no chance of open pitting. It'd be very hazardous, very dangerous, and a nightmare, just put it that way. So that we've got these in each of these little plates here, which are about 250, 300 feet deep. And then, of course, we've got the 1,000 meters long there. Uh, there's one or two narrow high-grade veins, and associated with them is some low-grade mineralization in small veinlets and bands of mineralization in the wall rock. And so each of those is a lot wider than it thinks if you, especially if you're bulk mining. And when you tie it all together and bulk mine the whole thing, this is about 250 to 300 meters wide. So it's well structured for a bulk mining. And this is the fish zone. We're looking at it. In this case, there's 15 parallel veins there. Back at Ben, I think so far we've discovered, or West Mountain had discovered, I think it was 8 to 10. And this one, there's a more multitude. This is a smaller deposit, by the way. And yeah, so again, you see it's 250, 300 meters wide. You got these narrow veins with these envelopes of lower grade material that allow it to be mined in a more economic way than if we were going in and just trying to high grade the narrow vein, high grade veins. Now, this is to illustrate, I said that it was outdated. Yes, the previous resources, they were calculated in a 43101 technical document, but they were calculated back in 2019. When the gold price that they use in all their calculations to see what could be included in their total resources was I see this is still the was at 5 grams gold. Okay, and so they got a total of 703,000. But now, of course, we're in mid 2024. Spot price is up 2,300, and the price that they'd use in calculation is probably the professionals would use in their calculations would be about $2,000 US. And what happens there, you can lower the cutoff. So that means you can expand and mine a lot more lower grade material. But of course, this brings up the total resources that are accessible at some sort of profit. So that brings it up to 881. So if for some reason we ever wanted to mine in this matter, we're looking at 800, well, just about 900,000 ounces as opposed to 700,000. But more important, in a way, is the chance that this can be bulk mined. And if you look at 2023, that's when the professional did his calculations on this 2.5 million ounces. And back then, the spot price was about 2,000, slightly under 2,000, and I don't know exactly what reference price he did, although all the tables are available, and that's where I access my information for doing my calculations. So it was probably somewhere between US 1,400 and 1,800, and with that, he was able to calculate with 0.35 grams gold per ton grade of rock to extract in a mine. And actually, if this was open pit mining, this particular cutoff is is very conservative. A lot of mines in this area, Fort Knox, for example, Victoria Gold, most of them operating open pit mines in this northern environment use 0.3 or in some extreme cases 0.2. So with that in mind, between indicated and inferred, he was able to document about 2.5 million ounces of gold. Now I'm just going to go quickly back to here. As I said, Ben vein looks like a no-no for open pit. And certainly the structure of the veining and the envelopes and the total vein zone width makes it amenable to some sort of underground mining that would be more efficient and less expensive than the narrow high grade mining. And so with that in mind, I referenced some of the mines in the north that were doing this type of mining, and it seems to be that a 1 gram cutoff would be quite adequate. Though I've talked to engineers in the field, and they said, well, maybe it could be 0.35 gram, but we're just going to go with 1 gram here for our present estimation, and so we end up with 1.9 million plus ounces of gold. And that is basically what we're claiming is the total resources here right now, and with good justification. Now, back to the slide. Oops. Oh, going the wrong direction. That's nice. You see these in these type of deposits, they usually go to some depth. So we figure that we could easily double that with a drilling project that went underneath where it has been drilled. We could easily double the resources of 1.9. Let's make it 2 to make it easy. So that would bring it up to say 4 million. And then, of course, along strike, especially to the south here past the Ben vein, we know it proceeds past there. And there's good evidence that these two join with this SD vein. I have got some really good pictures of it, but I don't have them in this deck. You can check them out on our website where there's other presentations and so forth. It's running, I think it was running greater than 30 grams per ounce across a couple of meters interval. And so that was quite good. And now the good thing about this deposit, there is a mill up there that they were using for some test mining to see how the gold could be milled and extracted. And they did about 3,000 tons. Actually, it was from the Ben zone mainly, and they got out 4,700 ounces plus. And so that gave them an average grade of 1.6 ounces gold. So they were probably extracting most of the gold and part of the silver. There is a good silver credit here, and so they probably got I'd say 2/3 of the silver. So this was all done by centrifugal gravity concentration with water involved and shaker table. And so with that extraction, they were able to get this bar. The advantage of this process, of course, is you don't have to use cyanide. And so, the tailings and leaching from around the mine don't become a problem. We've seen that in sort of high relief topography over where Victoria Gold is. They're having problems there. So it's an excellent way to extract gold. The other thing is, again, we've been talking to engineers, and they're promoting that we do some sorting. Um, Sorting is done along conveyor belts with a variety of techniques to pull out the gold, anywhere from something visual to electromagnetic and so forth. Um, and this can quite often concentrate the original rock down to a tenth of what was mined, uh, even if it's less than that, a third or a half. What ends up happening here, you have a lot less rock to crush finer for this gravity concentration, and you have fewer wet tailings. Everything is a bit more efficient and less hazardous from an environmental viewpoint. Okay, I guess I'll go into our plans for the next 6 months, Kyle, if you don't mind here. Now, we did have a press release out on July 25th. If you haven't found a copy of it, it's on our website. And it went into all the ins and outs of this, of our placing our true resource value at 1.93 million ounces of gold. We'll go down to 4 here. Probably within the next week, or I think next week, we're going to have out a resource on, not a resource, another press release on how that makes, what that does to the value of the merged company, and the how it affects the value at the value of the shares when the merger is completed. We're having an annual general meeting on August 15th, and we'll do some updates on the merger and placement, and which are anticipated for a year end, if not then in the first couple of months of 2025. We're making headway on a strategic investment or a lead bid to set the terms for the merger placement. And once that gets going, we can proceed with it and then complete the merger, because we do have to raise those funds. And I don't think that, I think that will be relatively easy. Not, it's always difficult to raise funds in the junior mining sector these days, but I think with what we got, it's not going to be that hard in the end, and possibly before we're estimating here. So with that, like I say, our website's got a lot more details on it for your inspection. There's descriptions of our Yukon properties and all their positives, and how they will fit in with the total merger plan, and so forth. Or you can call Daryl Monroe or myself at 613-836-2594. I think that does it, Kyle.
Yeah, no worries. On that note, we'll pass it off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think in that comment section below, and consider subscribing as news and catalyst hit the wire. Of course, we'll bring them to you here. But on that note, we look forward to catching you in the next one.